There it is. That's what I was waiting for. I could have sworn I remember music here. Oh, what's good, guys? BB Nice, and you know, far be it from me to play something that's not an MMORPG. Shocker, right? Not the usual Genshin Impact or SAO grind, but here we are nonetheless. We are playing the house in Fata Morgana, I believe that's how it's pronounced. This was a game I maybe got like what 20 minutes into before I had some little incident happen and I couldn't play. But we're back in. I barely even remember what goes on in the first 20 minutes. I barely even got into it in the first place. Not gonna lie, I really developed an interest in visual horror novels, especially after playing through the Death Mark series. Oh my goodness, to die for. Now this one is said to be a little more on the gothic side. I don't know. I'm just here for a good story, to be honest. So, jeez. Alright, well, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's just go. Start, question mark, ending list, return. Well, let's just jump right into it. This game contains depictions of blood, graphic violence, and other potentially disturbing content. Additionally, certain characters are shown to use some discriminatory and offensive language. I can't read that fast. Produced by Optical. I think that's how you say it. There is a house that sits beyond the dark, dense woods. Like the world fading into a view after a dream. That old mansion appears before you. Without realizing it, you instinctively accept as truth the evidence unfolding before you. An amalgam of myriad and oh my goodness, I'm not used to these words. No one knows who first said. That the mansion was cursed. What am I supposed to? Oh shoot. My own corpse. I was afflicted with great despair at the sight of it being dragged to the place of my crucifixion. Jesus. My soul crumbled, and I was wholly extinguished. Indeed, I did once lose everything. However, as I faded into darkness everlasting, I heard a voice calling out to me, and so I vowed once more that no matter how long it may take, how great the obstacles that stand in my way, or what form you may assume, I shall come back for you, and that I must return to that house. So I ask of you, please wait until this mutilated body arrives there once more. Well, shoot. Your consciousness, wavering like a ship at sea, was slowly drawn back to the surface. With each new breath, feeling gradually return to your fingers. Master, you could hear the pattering of rain from somewhere. Master, and the sound of a crackling fire. Wake up, Master. Wake up. When you came to, you were rocking back and forth in a rocking chair. The room was dimly lit. Aside from the flickering of the fireplace, there was no other illumination. No light shone through the closed windows. There was only a pitter-patter of the rain on the glass. It was as though the whole mansion had been enveloped in darkness. Oh, splendid. You have finally awoken. Someone called out to you. You were about to search the room, but that turned out to be unnecessary. The source of the voice was crouching beside the chair, looking up at you with emerald eyes. Hello, you. Good morning, Master. Oh, snap, we have a decision already. Good morning. What is the matter? Are you still waking up? You seem rather drowsy. Come now, you must gather yourself. Though I am glad to hear your voice. I have simply been waiting so long for this moment, tending to the mansion all by my lonesome, ensuring it was ready for your return, whenever that time may be. When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time had finally arrived. You were perplexed. This woman, who looked like a maid, seemed to know you, but you had no memory of her. What kind of herbal tea would you like to start your day with? I have some wonderful chamomile leaves if you would like. Or perhaps your tastes have changed since we last met. Tell me, Master, what would you like? I beg your pardon. I allowed myself to get too excited. But I hope you will be sympathetic, Master. I am just utterly elated that I could see you again. The woman appeared to be genuinely delighted that you had awoken, but she seemed to lack the energy typical of her age. Or perhaps life was more appropriate word than energy. But the gloom extended beyond the maid. It seemed to encompass the entire mansion. The plaster walls illuminated by the fireplace and the rose engravings and the ebony pillars felt vaguely familiar. But a crushing sense of claustrophobia overpowered that familiarity. It seemed as if though the house wasn't interested in accepting you just yet. Oh my, you do not know who I am? Do you not know who you are either? That is quite the predicament. If you cannot remember who you are, then who am I to serve? The woman's face was pale, almost as though a faint chill ran down your spine. You are the master of this house, though it would seem you have no memories of such. Quite the dilemma. If you know not who you are, then you are no different than a stranger to me, no? Indeed, you have returned. But from where? That I cannot say. Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such, I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, Master. That will surely allow you to recall who you are. The freshly awakened gears in your head began to turn as you mulled things over. The maid had called you the master of this house, but without a single mirror in the room, you had no way of seeing what you looked like. Unable to decide, you reflexively nodded. Let us be off then, and fear not. I merely entreat you to not let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Ma'am, yes ma'am. With your hand in hers, you followed the maid's lead through the hall. The air within the mansion was oppressive, as though a black miasma hovered within. The house was bleak and barren, hardly a trace of color to be found. You came across an open window. Beyond it lay nothing but darkness. Neither sunlight nor moonlight could be seen. There were no chirping birds, no rustling grass, no sign of life at all. Everything that would normally give off color to the world had vanished entirely. The only other presence was that of the maid. Following her lead, you proceed through the mansion. After some time, you arrive at a double door, the glass within shattered. The door, once pure white, had long since faded into a dull gray. It appeared to lead to the back garden. You could hear children laughing on the other side. Though it is in the state you now see it, A beautiful, beautiful garden once lay beyond these doors. The owner of the time enjoyed gathering rare species of rose from all across the world. At its grandest, it seemed every flower was in constant competition for the most majestic bloom. Would you like to see this wonderful era of splendor and prosperity? I very much hope it's to your liking, master. The maid opened the doors to the back garden. A sudden gust of wind brushed across your face, forcing you to close your eyes as you followed the maid out the doors. When you next opened your eyes, the world was no longer blanketed in shadows. The first door. 16, oh Jesus, wow. The mansion had an alluring air of beauty about it in that era. It was almost like something out of a fairy tale. This period of history could perhaps be described as a symphony of destruction, as cumbersome principles of old came crashing down. Freed from the day-to-day oppression of these antiquated precepts, the old people seemed to hark back to the more poetic, expressive ways of the old. They took these newly blossoming emotions in hand, and with them they wrote literature, painted portraits, this music is very distracting, composed theater, and found love. Even the church, which had maintained authority throughout the Middle Ages, embraced the changing times, adopting the culture's flowering sense of aesthetic. One would break out not 20 years from then, plucking the ripened era from the tree of history, but that is of no concern to us now. At the time, it was still what people referred to as the Golden Age, a period of furor for all who were there. Get a quick sip of water. Now let us take a slight detour. No, we will not be changing locations. This is a tale about the mansion from beginning to end. We will, however, be moving through time. Say, about 8 years into the past. A very wealthy family lived in the house then. The mother and father, brother and sister all had distinctive, beautiful flaxen hair. I was always enamored by their hair. By contrast, mine is the color of a wet crow. See, there I am, standing around, looking rather a fool. I was happy back then. And what reason did I have not to be afforded the opportunity to attend to such a beautiful home? So I poured my heart into serving that family. Listen closely, if you would. That soft, fleeting sound that could only be a young girl singing. Can you hear it? La la la, la 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 la. The girl you see, cheerfully picking crimson roses and singing like a songbird, was called Nellie. Though young, she sang with elegance. Nellie was deeply fond of the house's garden, and she would often spend her afternoons there. Gorgeous roses gathered from all across the world bloomed in the garden. They were given the utmost care and even had their thorns removed, so young Nellie would not hurt herself naturally. The light brown-haired girl carefully plucked petals from the roses, gathering them up as she sang. Her voice was like music played by fairies. Nay, the sight of her was like an angel descended from heaven. Oh dear, please don't look at me like that. I admit I was being rather fanciful. But what is a woman if not fanciful? Little birds, singing night and day. For your little birdie heart, sing your woes away. Pretty flowers all around little birds. And even when the sun comes up, oh dear, smell. I've forgotten what comes next. Are you listening? My guy is devoid of any life in his eyes. My goodness. Nellie was, as a matter of fact, not the only visitor to the rose garden that day. She always came with her older brother Mel. The young siblings were inseparable. Mel adored his little sister, who in turn pined for his attention. The sight of the two innocent children cuddling together, not yet shackled by the fear for the future, was truly heartwarming. That day, Mel was sitting in the shade of a tree reading a book. As I am sure you are aware, in their time, books could not yet be mass-produced. What he was reading had been copied by a scribe. I presume he had borrowed it from the church. The book, having passed through many hands over many years, was visibly worn, but I suppose that just speaks to its importance. It was in fact a Latin grammar textbook he was reading. Mel was a clever boy. He had attended church from a very young age, where a priest would instruct him in Latin grammar. So at the time, I believe he was capable of reading even advanced text. Oh, dearest Mel, please. The young girl approached her brother, who was consumed by the text. In her hand, she carried a large pile of rose petals. Though his sister's shadow overlapped with the trees, the boy still did not notice. So Nellie puffed her cheeks, thrust out her slender arms, and let the petals fall. Ah! Look, your head is covered in roses, Mel. Oh, Nellie, you got petals on the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to let it get dirty. It's your fault, dearest Mel. I tried to get your attention. And besides, flowers won't get a book dirty. I must raise the white flag. When did my little lady find herself such a sharp wit? While waiting for you, dearest Mel. I waited and waited, and you didn't so much as glance at me. I'll be an adult by the time you're done reading that book. Wow, that soon? That soon? Mother says girls grow up fast. She may be right. In that case, we should do something together before you're all grown up. Surely you won't play with me any longer when you become an adult. That's not true. I'll still play with you even when I'm grown up. But grown-ups don't play, Nellie. Fine, I'll stay a child forever then. Didn't you just say you were about to grow up? You're so mean, Mel. I'm sorry, please don't pout, my little lady. How about this? To make it up to you, I'll play whatever you want today. Really? Do you mean it? I want to play make-believe. 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 I will be a princess taken captive by an evil kingdom, and you, dearest Mel, will be my valiant knight. And then you turn into a prince when you rescue me. A knight can become a prince? Impressive. They can. Knights and princes both have to be charming, so of course they can. Which is why it must be you, dearest Mel. No one else can be my prince, or my knight. Why, he may have appeared outwardly embarrassed as his rose-cheeked sister proclaimed pratingly. I am certain he was smiling on the inside. After a few moments, he meekly knelt, bringing himself to eye level with Nellie and gently stroking her soft hair. Alright then, you're my princess, Nellie. Not just anyone's princess, dearest Mel, but yours alone. So, don't be anyone else's prince but mine, okay? Nellie. Jeez, my princess is quite the fauna. Is that bad? Does that make you dislike me? Not at all. I'm proud to have you as my little sister, Nellie. You mean more to me than anything in the world, my dear princess. I love you, dearest Mel. You'll always be my prince forever and ever. Her mood quite improved. Nellie began humming the melody of the song she had forgotten the lyrics to. Holding the skirt of her dress out from her body, the young girl pranced about the rose garden. Mel, his eyes on her back, gave a little shrug. Oh, Nellie, don't come crying to me if you trip running like that. But Mel was not entirely disapproving of her sister's excitement. He carefully brushed aside the petals on his book, set it in the shade of tree, and began chasing after Nellie. They were picturesque siblings, brimming with hope. And at this time in their lives, there was nothing to jeopardize that hope. Would it not be wonderful if children could stay children forever, Master? As I see it, though, the pleasant, gentle times in our lives have value because they come to an end. Wouldn't you agree? True, true. Time continues to flow, impartial and without exception. And as such, everyone's childhood comes to an end. Be that as it may, does time also flow at the same speed for each individual? Now let us take a trip down the river of time. I would be very much delighted if we could remain at this point in time, but unfortunately we cannot. Please do not let go of my hand, Master. Interesting, interesting. So we're going forward in time. Oh, there, yep, forward in time. Mel is all grown up. I'll be on my way then. Oh, you usually stay for longer. Yes, I have an errand to run today. Thank you for your time as always. Would you like the book back sometime next week? Next week or the week after. Hold on to it as long as you'd like. But surely there are others who want to use it. Not as sharp as you, Mel. Put yourself in my shoes and you'll understand. I want to give you any advantage you can get. Oh, do you not believe me? No, I believe you, Father. And I mean to do whatever I can not to disappoint you. That's the spirit. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I'm proud to have you as my pupil. Ah, yes, and Mel, do consider what we were talking about. Going to university. Indeed. If you do, I can introduce you to some accomplished instructors. There's very little time left for me to teach you, and I believe you would make a fine priest. It's an honorable thing, Mel, to devote yourself to the service of our Lord. Mel, what's that face for, buddy? I'll give it some thought. If you'll excuse me then. I'll see you again. Our doors are always open. Farewell. I wonder how Mel's feeling about it. Whether it's in the service of God or the service of the church, it is an honorable profession. But theology... I wouldn't mind attending university, but I'm not sure. I'd kind of like to do something different, but something more befitting of the times. As for what though, I'm stumped. But I need to make up my mind soon. If I drag my feet for too long, even my father's liable to grow impatient. Mercy me. Young sire, blessed young sire, alms, alms for the poor. Ah, this beggar, if I'm not mistaken, he's been outside the church since last week. Alms. The way he shakes his head. You can get a glimpse of his forehead under his hood. He's completely bald. Buy yourself some bread with this. Ah, thank you very much. May the Lord bless your soul. Thanks. The Lord. Oh no. Nellie's going to be cross if I don't hurry home. Curses, it looks like it's going to rain. Master? Master? Oh, thank goodness. You appear to have a firm grasp on your consciousness. I was afraid you have accidentally let go of my hand. Now, Master, this is the period of time I truly wished to show you. The boy reading in the rose garden was now a fine young man. Nonetheless, he still bore the same gentle eyes as before, and he would from time to time show remnants of the innocent young boy. He was, in his own mind, still making the transition into adulthood, I suspect. Mel frequently visited the church, on Sundays to participate in Mass, of course, but more often to be tutored by the priest. In addition, he also attended a private school run by an eminent Marcus. Though it was not a school where students had desks and sat in rows, they studied at the Marcus estate. Secondary and higher education was not the same as it is today, and Mel was considering university. The priest wanted to recruit him to the church, but Mel was having difficulty deciding what he should do. That he had such a choice is envious, is it not? Facts. I know some parents pay for their kids' tuitions and force them to major into something, even though they don't want to. Good afternoon. I'm here to pick up my order. Is it ready? Aye, ready and waiting, young Master Rhodes. Oh, don't call me young master, please. I beg your pardon. Can I seem to get my head out the past? Your order is right here, sir. Mel had stopped at a jewelry store in the center of town on his way back from the church. The building was both a workshop and a storefront, and the nobles of the area were deeply fond of the master's wares. He was so skilled, even the royal family had commissioned work from him. As a matter of fact, the wooden sign out in the front was engraved with a replica of a piece of his jewelry said to be on display in the palace. And artistry flourished in this golden age. The number of the shops selling luxurious items, such as jewelry, rose in kind. However, the clientele of these shops comprised of a very narrow range of people. May I have a look? Of course, of course. Good. It came out just as I hoped. Splendid work. Can I afford to disappoint a loyal customer like yourself? An admirable work ethic. I'm sure she'll love it. Such a kind lad, young master. My boy back home could do well to learn a thing or two from you. Every man ought to show women some cordiality. Coming home to a cold fireplace is a sad thing indeed. Ha ha ha. Again, please don't call me young master. My apologies. I'll take this and be on my way then. Good day. If you find yourself in need of aught else, just let me know. I can make any jewelry you ask for. Come to me and your sweetheart's days will be sure as made. and I guarantee the two of you will have all sorts of fun when you give it to her. Please, I don't have a sweetheart. Huh, well that's a surprise. I'm sure many girls are vying for your hand too, young Mr. Rhodes. A fine family, good looks, charming, and your features all, but I'll be on my way then. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Good day, come by again anytime. Way to brush him off, yes sir. Goodness. Maybe I'll say what I want to study abroad or something. Patient says, my father may be. That would certainly anger him. I can hear it now. You wish you God-given talents, boy. I could renounce my name and rank and go somewhere far away. That sounds like the kind of plan Nelly would come up with. We're marching back home. As he drew closer to the mansion, the rich fragrance of roses grew more prominent. Over time, this distinctive scent had led visitors to refer to the house as Rose Manor. It was also probably a play on the flaxen-haired family's last name, Rhodes, which you heard the owner of the jewelry store say just moments earlier. The mansion looked quite different than it does now, no? No thickets of ivy covering the walls, and no rotten, broken doors to be found. I wonder what the Rose family would think if they saw the house in its present tragic condition. The sight of their abundantly blooming roses, a veritable symbol of prosperity, long since withered and turned into soil. My apologies, I got a little sentimental there. Let us forget for a moment about our own time. I suppose I stayed out a little too long. Oh well, the sun still shines high in the sky. I'm sure it's... Oh, there it is. Oh wow. What a fancy guy. Dearest Mel, what took you so long? Wherever have you been? I've been waiting for ever. Nelly, you're not in the house? Nope, you were taking so long I decided to wait by the gate. But you didn't even notice me at all. All that studying's got your head stuck up in the clouds. No, it hasn't, really. Also, you're heavy. Would you please get off my back? I don't know, dude. I feel like... Okay, we'll keep it. Heavy? I've been gradually reducing the amount of sweets I eat, and I love sweets to maintain my figure for a new dress, and you call me heavy? You never get at a woman's weight or age. Never. Never. I didn't catch that. Were you saying a tongue twister? You're such a dimwit, Mel. Jerk, blockhead, weakling, baka, and obnoxious to boot. Whatever happened to the delightful little girl who was once my sister? She'd probably throw a fit if I said that out loud. Should you really be outside, Nelly? You are the star of today's event. It's fine. They can call it a birthday party, but I know it's just about fraternizing. It's obvious what father's true motives are. He'll be gathering a bunch of boys from the good families to look for someone to marry me off to. I have no interest in that at all. Don't be like that, Nelly. We're all here for you. At least enjoy what you can of the party. I guess. And besides, it's not completely terrible. Look at this, dearest Mel. What do you think? What do I think? About what? About what? Oh god. Mel, my new dress, it arrived. I'm wearing it. How could you not notice? I didn't notice. It was something I hadn't seen before. But you have so many dresses, Nelly, so... But this is the dress I had made just for today. Look at the colors. They're so pretty. It's the work of a renowned dyer. And this belt is just lovely. You see how it comes together to form a butterfly? Oh, I'm just absolutely in love with it. I think I'll be wearing this dress for a while to come. So tell me, what do you think? Does it look good on me? Don't call her fab. Yeah, it does. It's pretty. In some ways, I guess she is still a delightful little girl. Oh, dearest Mel, I love you. Oh, I'm back at it again. Whoa, don't jump on me like that. Ah! Oh my, you dropped something. And what have we here? Wait, hold on, no, you can't have that yet. Is it a present? Give it back. I was going to give that to you later. I knew it, it's from me. And just what could it be? Hey, don't open it. What's the big deal? It's going to be mine soon anyway, isn't it? God, it's so impatient. Ooh, I love it. A rose necklace. And this design is from the jeweler the royal family uses. Oh, my dearest Mel. You had this made just for me. Oh, jeez. It defeats the purpose if you open it before the party. Happiness is always better sooner rather than later, Mel. I think I'll put it on right away. There. How does it look? It looks lovely. My prince is still the sweetest in all the land. He called you heavy like maybe a minute ago. What are you talking about? Don't make such weird noises. Oh, but why not? A prince always knows exactly what his princess wants. And this princess wanted some rose jewelry to go with her new dress. Understand? Jeez. I sure don't have it easy playing your prince, Nelly. It might be about time you found a new one. A prince is a prince because you can't just find one standing on the street corner. If you want to retire, dear Mel, you're going to have to wait another 10... Jeez. That's a long time. Or, if you find yourself a new princess. I'm not so... You're about as romantic as a rock, dearest Mel. But worry not, your adorable sister will always be your princess. What more could you want? I'm really allowed to be the judge of that. I mean more to you than any other girl in the world, do I not? Then that makes me your perfect princess. This man. Hey, what was with that laughing? It'll all be over soon. Laugh. Nell is a mood. I'll tell you what. Nell is a freaking mood. You're always telling me I mean more than anyone to you. Yes, you do. More than anyone in the world, my beloved baby sister. I'll take good care of the necklace. Thank you, my dearest Mel. Well, if you're happy with it, then so am I. You're very welcome. Now, back into the house with you. Can't have a party without the guest of honor. Do you know if anyone is here yet? Nope. I imagine they'll be here soon, though. Were you down at the church again today, Mel? Yeah. There was something I didn't know how to translate, so I went to look it up. Wow, so diligent. I can't say I really like the priest there personally. Actually, I kind of feel the same way. What? Really? Why? Well, you know, I have my reasons. So even you don't always like the priest, huh? Let's skip Mass on Sunday then. We can go play No Skipping Church. As grew the brother, so too did the sister. That day, Nelly would be turning 14, and Mel, 3 years her senior, was 17. You saw it with your own eyes, so you know just how much she has changed. She was always a cute little girl, and she grew into an even more beautiful young woman. Though she was only 14, she was well on her way to becoming a fine lady. As for her character, well... but a girl like that has her own charms, wouldn't you not say? Drifting down a river of time, the two siblings matured into healthy young adults, but the core of their relationship did not change in the slightest. Nelly was much attached to her brother, and as much as Mel complained, he still cared deeply for his sister. Around the time the sun had begun to set, carriages started lining up outside as well as dressed aristocrats made their way into the house. As Nelly had suspected, the majority of them were boys. Dang. Away with the music. Thank goodness. Sorry, I just had lunch before this, so I feel like some of it is still in my throat. Yes, I understand. You don't need to say anything more. Rose Manor, right? Okay, we'll go together. Me alone? No, please don't make me. The inhabitants of Rose Manor are surely living quite contented lives, and I'm sure they don't remember a thing. Oh, back with the music. Oh. Never mind, I'll shut up. The room with the fireplace was always kept in pristine condition so they could entertain guests at any time. Walls colorfully decorated with tapestries and stained glass windows gave testament to their great fortune. The servant's first assignment every morning was to clean this room. Pitchers, silver plates, and silverware were polished to a shine so they could be proudly put to use at a moment's notice. And for events like their daughter's birthday, the room served as an even more important role. The table's tops were removable, so they had ordered new tabletops with designs made especially for this occasion. And once the banquet had drawn to a close, the table specked with half-empty wine glasses and leftover candied fruits were moved off to the side to make room for, of course, the festivities. Good evening, Lady Nellie. You're looking particularly lovely today. Nellie, I had these jewels cut out just for you. You'll let me have this dance, won't you? She's being flooded, isn't she? Yeah, she doesn't. What's the matter, Nellie? You look exhausted. These are pretty good. Want one? I know you like sweets. They're apple candied and rock sugar, I think. You disappoint me, dearest Mel. What do you think is the matter? They just keep coming. It never ends. It's driving me up the wall. Everyone's just repeating the same lines they've been taught. They all think pretty jewels and requests to dance are enough to make a girl swoon. I think that is true for you, Nellie. No, why is she disappointed with me? I feel it. I think I'm done with birthday parties after this year. I'll probably throw an even bigger one next year. Huh? Why? Well, you know, you're about that age, Nellie. We are a reasonably distinguished family, so there are a number of different houses that would like to have connections with us. So, oh, her face changed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So what you're saying is, do it for the family? No, that's not. I won't date or marry anyone. I have no interest in being used as a pawn in their inter-family politics. Ooh. Dang, get him, Nellie. Pawn. I wouldn't go that far. And I'm sure father wants to let you choose yourself. You know, someone you actually love. Love? I never thought I would hear you talking about love, dearest Mel. You don't even understand what makes Shakespeare's play so beautiful, and you're talking about love? Got him. You fell asleep during Romeo and Juliet, and you're talking about love. We went all the way out to the Globe Theater, too. Well, pardon me for being ignorant when it comes to romance and the arts. But you're not, Nellie. Shakespeare's make-believe stories make you cry like a baby. Anyone would cry at that. You'd have to be crazy to sleep through it. That's not what I'm saying. Someone as emotionally vibrant as you, Nellie, would have no problem finding love. Ah, dearest Mel. We should dance. Lady Nuck, could I have this? She brushed him off. Let's dance, dearest Mel. What, me? Wait a... Come on, I really like this song. Uh-oh. There is conflict. Quit pulling on me, Nellie. What's the point of us dancing? We're siblings. Mother and father are staring daggers at us. No matter. What day is it today, dearest Mel? Your birthday? Exactly, so I can do what I want. Word? Okay. Now, attend to your princess as a proper prince should. Oh jeez, how did I get myself into this? Mel is a friggin' mood, I swear. Nellie's skirt fluttered along with her as she stepped in time to the music. She was not only a skilled singer, but a skilled dancer as well. Mel, on the other hand, fumbled over his own feet trying to keep up. One would be hard-pressed to describe his dance abilities as good, even as flattery. Jesus. Though boys of his pedigree were taught to dance as part of their etiquette lessons, he found himself more being dragged around by his sister. He could hardly be said to be attending to God. This is humiliating because his parents had been hands off in raising him, largely giving him free rein to study and learn what he had pleased. Mel looked like a tangled up marionette. Aw. Come on, Mel, you got this, man. Come on. From throughout the hall, he could hear giggling, uncomfortable chuckling, and people coughing to disguise their laughter. Come now, dearest Mel. If this is the best you can manage, what are you going to do when you find a girl that catches your eye? I won't, so it doesn't matter. Follow my lead, Mel. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mel, can you count? Count back. 1, 2. Stop. Nellie alone enjoyed her time dancing with her brother, and quite thoroughly at that. It did not matter to her that she moved awkwardly or that the guests were giving them cold stares. It was their parents who first cracked under the pressure. Just as their father was about to give an exaggerated cough and stop the music, a ruckus suddenly swelled up near the entrance. Oh, and the music stopped. Yo. What could that be? Who knows? Whatever's going on, I've been spared. The music came to a stop and the party guests began bustling. The siblings' father spoke up sternly above the noise in order to quell the spreading commotion. He ordered the servants to investigate, had the music restarted, and gave a short apology for the interruption and set the party back on course. Attaboy. I went to go check on the entrance with the other servants as I recall. Oh my, why are you looking at me like that? These are not my memories, but those which dwell within the mansion. Do you think we should be following what happens next from my perspective then? That is not what confused you? Well, your question shall be answered in time. In time. Now, let us return to our tale. Though the party had fallen still for a moment, their father's decisive actions restored the guests' festive moods in short order. Good man, just reining them in. So it was not by any means the commotion that caused the ball to conclude earlier than planned. Ooh. Oh dear, I hear thunder. It's rather loud too. Sounds like we have quite the storm brewing. They lived in a country where the weather was nothing if not unpredictable. Rain was a frequent occurrence there. The stretches of time with clear skies grew longer as summer approached, but the weather was still somewhat unstable on the cusp of the two seasons. They had a strong wind at night as well, which turned the raindrops into little spears on the window. Were the party to continue on any longer, nobody would be able to go home. Although their father was quite concerned that Nellie had not gotten on with any of the aristocrat boys, he decided to cut the festivities short. Dang. I feel a scolding from father. Thank goodness it ended early. How lucky I am. This must be a blessing for always being such a good girl. Not sure having your own birthday party cut short counts as lucky. But it was no fun. I can't help it if I'm not enjoying myself. And for heaven's sake, Arthur was here. Who's Arthur? I had no interest in dancing with that dunce. Arthur? Who's that again? Someone who was here? Unbelievable. You don't remember anything, do you, dearest Mel? He came over to play a few times when we were little. He's covered in gross freckles and he's a huge jerk. He said my hair looked like the color of fallen leaves. Fallen leaves? Just thinking about that ugly smirk has me fuming. And he acts like nothing happened. He even calls me Lady Nellie, for goodness sake. Are you listening, dearest Mel? I'm listening. I wonder what the ruckus earlier was. You weren't listening, were you? Who cares about that? Sorry, but aren't you curious? It probably wasn't another guest, at least. Maybe a cat sneaked in. You think so? I do. But enough about that. Would you like to play cards in my room, dearest Mel? Seriously? I'm exhausted, though. It's not even that late. Fine. Something feels kind of off. A cat? I'm gonna go check. Come on, hurry up. Hold on. You don't need to drag me, Nellie. My birthday isn't over yet, so you're not done attending to me. Oh, Nellie. Mel is like my spirit animal, I swear. Friggin' spirit animal. rain just won't let up. I can't sleep. I wonder what the commotion earlier was about. Oh, for goodness sake. It's all the storm's fault. You're blaming Mother Nature. Careful now. You're dealing with forces you do not understand. That's why I can't sleep. I'm just fretting over nothing. I'm sure Nellie was right. It was just a cat. I don't know. Maybe you're right. You're right. It could have been a dog. A cat? Unfathomable. A dog? Yeah, that's more likely. I can't sleep. I hardly ever have this much trouble falling asleep. What could this feeling be, I wonder? It's not quite foreboding. Walking around the house at this time of night isn't going to help anything. But I'm not going to fall asleep just lying here. Oh, we're about to check it out. Wait, but what does it matter though? The only sounds that could be heard in the dark corridors were the sharp pitter-patter of the rain, his footsteps, and his breathing. So is he like a mouth breather? Though he was intimately familiar with the layout of the house, that night the hallways felt like an endless labyrinth veiled in shadows. No moonlight shone through the windows, so he naturally found himself moving cautiously, despite being in his own residence. Keeping the palm of his hand pressed up against the chilly wall, he put one foot in front of the other. Yes, sir, marching on. But to where he was supposed to head? Mel, of course, had no way of answering that question himself. If he had anything, it was guidance from above, the path to his destination lit by flashes of lightning. So Raiden Shogun is showing him the way, I see. Had a girl. Or perhaps there was something else leading him along. Though he progressed with a fair bit of hesitation in his step, Mel slowly but surely drawing nearer to one room in particular. He made his way through the seemingly endless halls, past the living room, its fireplace long since cooled, into another corridor, and then stopped outside an Abigail's bedchamber. The dim glow of a lamp spilled through the cracks in the door. A gust of wind is not necessary to make a flame flicker. A person's movements or vibrations in the air from someone speaking, the slightest emotions can cause the light of a fire to quiver, shifting subtly as though nudged by an invisible fingertip. I can see the light from inside. Is she still awake? A voice. He seemed to be hesitating. It would not be difficult for him to approach the door and peer inside, but he had reservations about peeping in on another's chambers, even if it was his own house. Moreover, this room was assigned to a woman. There was a woman behind that door. What would you do, Master, in this situation? Would you succumb to your curiosity and gaze inside? Absolutely not. It's none of my business. Who cares? Just let him go. Let it be. Or would you respect the owner's privacy? If I heard some concerning noises inside, maybe. But it could very well be a cat. I shouldn't be doing this. But the voice, it feels like it's calling to me or someone else. Yes, me. Could sense someone watching me at the oh, careful. Oh no, I don't like this. He has succumbed to his curiosity. He stood on the other side of the door from me, his flaxen eyes open wide, trying to remain as visible as possible. The wavering in his heart seemed to create faint ripples in the air, which I pretended not to notice. Yes, I knew he was. Oh, he's peeping on the maid. Okay, I get what's going on. Our maid is on the other side of the door. I could sense his presence and his wavering emotions. However, I could not begin to speculate as to his true feelings or how great a surprise this was to him. I, too, am discovering new facets of this tale by viewing it through the eyes of the mansion. But it is not I who is of concern, Master. It is you. You and... I know I shouldn't be doing this. I should be ashamed of myself. But I can't look away. What are you looking at? Oh. Who is that? Her skin, it's so pale you can practically see through it. Is it that white because she was out in the cold rain? Her hair is white as snow, and her eyes, they're like, how do I just, well, you can't see, well, my vocabulary truly lacks for situations like this. They look like, What? Like blood? Yo, relax. No, that's just disturbing. Then wine, perhaps? No, more translucent than that. Gemstones, then. Yes, gemstones. Her eyes are like rubies. I've never seen anyone like her before. What could they be talking about? Mel's eyes were fixated on the peculiar young woman. She had glass-like skin, eyes that glimmered in the flickering candlelight, and snow-white hair that flowed like luxurious silk. But her lips were bluish purple. Her soft, delicate skin sullied with grime, her twinkling eyes pointed down at the floor, and her hair a disheveled mess. That could have fooled me. Her hair looks pretty nice. She was, even at a glance, clearly not a lady of means. The tips of her fingers were crackled from the cold, her nails pale from malnutrition, and her garb little more than rags. However, true beauty is always visible, no matter what it may be hidden beneath. Even wrapped in a veil of insalubrity, even if she thought herself hideous. I wonder what happened to her. Is that the girl they picked up earlier? Like when somebody knocked at the door, it was her, and she was looking like utter garbage? Mel could no longer avert his gaze from the girl's visage. He had, for the time being, forgotten the shame he felt for peeping. As he strained his ears to hear the conversation taking place inside, a sickly voice arose from the white-haired girl's purple lips. So feeble was the sound that a gentle breeze blowing through the room could carry it away. I apologize for the trouble. Think nothing of it. Give your apologies and thanks to the mistress. Understood. There is something strangely comforting about this house, almost as if I've been here before. If my father were here, I'm sure he would be quite fond of it. I'm sorry about your father. There's nothing could have done, I imagine. When he came to our rescue, he was already... Rescue? Father? Was that perchance what the commotion was about? He stared intently, entranced by the scene unfolding beyond the door. A gaze can often signal one's presence to others more effectively than words. The white-haired girl could likely sense him there as well. She flickered her gem-like eyes upward. Oh. She looks pretty. Oh. Yes, sir, she's looking your way. That was when the boy finally felt a pang of panic. For a split second, his flaxen eyes met her ruby eyes, causing him to recoil from the door. His heart was pounding like the rain outside. Careful not to make a sound, he took 2 steps away. Did she catch me? I'm not sure. It was only for a moment. She can't have seen me. The boy did not have the courage to peek in on the room a second time, so he cautiously returned to his bedchamber as quietly as he could manage. Good idea. But even beneath his covers, he could not erase that girl's eyes from his memory. Her melancholic red irises, her voice delicate as a glass sculpture, her pale, almost lifeless skin, her pure white hair. Every singular detail kept him from banishing her image from his mind. Nor could he restrain his heavily pounding heart. Is this love? What? Who could she be? I'm sure she noticed. There's no way she did not notice. Is something the matter? No. You're busted, Mel. No, I just thought I felt someone watching us. It's only your imagination, I'm sure. Nah, no. If not your imagination, then perhaps some unseen force was watching you. Unseen force? Are you familiar with how people refer to this mansion? Rose Manor. Yes, indeed. It is called Rose Manor because you can smell the sweet fragrance of the rose garden even at a great distance. But that is not what I meant. Excuse me. It is said that a witch resides within the house. A witch? I have not heard any such stories. You probably wouldn't have. It was a very, very long time ago. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. You have a peculiar presence about you. Should I consider that a compliment? It's getting late. You should get some rest. A room has already been set aside for you. But first, may I ask you one thing? Yes. I do not believe you have given me your name yet. My name... My name is... No, don't cut it off there. Don't do it. L. Oh, they cut it off. They just gave us ELL. Come on. Wake up. Get up, Mel. Huh? It's morning? You disappoint me, dearest Mel. It's very much long since morning. I didn't see you at breakfast, so I came to find out what was the matter. I've only been asleep that long. And Father's too lenient on you, dearest Mel. Oversleeping is hardly proper behavior for a firstborn son. I know. But before that... Yes, dearest Mel? What are you doing in here? You can't just go prancing into a boy's bedchamber. Leave that to the servants. I did send one for you. You're the one who refused to wake up. Besides, it's not like we're strangers. We used to sleep together all the time. It was a long time ago. Things are different now. Oh, you're overthinking it, silly. Now hurry up. Out of bed, sleepyhead. Alright, I'm getting up. So you can see yourself out. Oh my, you look awful, dearest Mel. For someone who overslept, you look like you didn't get a wink last night. You think so? You didn't go out on the town last night, did you? Naughty, naughty boy. I would never. You know that. You squeaked. I don't think I believe you. I didn't go out last night or anything. I'm tired because you had me playing cards until late, Nelly. Hey, we weren't playing for that long. Besides, look at me. I got up just fine. Anyway, shoot. I can't get dressed with you in here. Fine, I'm leaving. Oh, I almost forgot, dearest Mel. What now? Come on, no need to be mean. I'm sure you'll be quite surprised at the news. Oh? At breakfast, which you missed, Father told us. Told you what? Do I really want to say? It sounds like you want me out of your room, dearest Mel. Please, Nelly. We got a new maid today, from a house we have ties to, supposedly. I've never seen anyone like her before. For supposedly coming from a good family, she isn't very graceful, and I've never seen her at social gatherings. But that's not the surprising part. Does that maid? She's peculiar. Has a very unusual appearance, that one. Have white hair? What? How do you know that, dearest Mel? You idiot. You should've... no. Thanks, Nelly. Hey, get back here. Oh, for goodness sake, what's gotten into him? Uh-oh. And here is the jealousy arc. At the time, the majority of the servants at the mansion were men. However, the ladies of the house all had abigails, so there were several women servants, myself included. The maids, by and large, were selected from the daughters of other esteemed families. It was, you could say, a sort of training before they entered society. The girls would serve at houses even more powerful than their own, and the white-haired girl Mel saw the night before was one such maid. When he heard this, Mel could not sit still any longer. I didn't really think this through, did I? I don't even know where she is. I'm guessing she's probably Mother's maid. White hair. It has to be the girl from last night. But deep down he was having difficulty believing the young woman he had seen the previous night was truly here to be a servant. And can you blame him? When he saw her, she was an absolute mess, hardly what you would envision from a girl of class. But he did not seek her to find out whether that was true. He mercifully wanted to see her once more, to ascertain whether what he had witnessed the previous night was real or his imagination. And he wanted to have an actual conversation with her. I don't want to run into Mother. That would be awkward. He was heading towards his mother's bedchamber, but the closer he drew, the heavier each step grew. He rounded a corner, debating whether or not to head back, and stopped in his tracks. On occasion, wishes do come true. When Mel turned the corner, he saw her. The same girl. That same white hair. There she is. Ah. She appeared to be cleaning the hallway. She traced along the wooden carvings lining the walls, making certain not to miss even a speck of dust. The girl wore a pristine dress, the uniform of a mansion's Abigail's. There was no longer any filth to obscure her beauty. All that had covered her pure white hair and glass-like skin was no longer. The one thing that had not changed was her listless ruby eyes. "Pardon me." Hearing his footsteps, the young woman raised her head. She caught Mel's gaze and for a brief moment merely blinked at him in silence. "Lord Mel, yes? Your father informed me of you." "Did he? I guess I don't need to introduce myself then." I believe she made an attempt to smile, though it was difficult to tell, and she quickly dropped her gaze back to the floor. Flax and Ruby met only for the briefest moment. She seemed to be looking at both someone and no one at all. "Everyone here truly has the most beautiful color of hair. Did you have business with the mistress, Lord Mel? I can let her know if you would like." "No, I was looking for you." "For me?" Mel felt as though all the blood in his body began to flow backwards. He could not effectively describe the sensation, but in a word, it resembled panic. Or it could be love. Yay, let's go. On his way to find her, Mel had come up with a number of subjects he wanted to talk about, and generally had little trouble speaking with others. He'd had less experience interacting with women, this was true, but the time he had spent around Nellie had kept them from stumbling too much. Until then... Yes, for you. Why would you be looking for me, Lord Mel? I was wondering how you were doing. Pardon? I'm quite fine. Good, that's great to hear. You fool, Mel, what are you even saying? You have more important things to ask, like where she came from, or tell her she has pretty hair. Yeah, there you go. Suave, go get her, Mel. But I don't want to trouble her too much. Lord Mel? Yes? Sorry, you just suddenly fell silent. Was I, in your way? In my way? No, not at all. What are you up to? Oh, Jesus. How's the weather? Do you like it here? I'm cleaning. Well, yeah, I didn't even... Yeah, that was a silly question to ask. You approached her while she was cleaning. You're cleaning? Oh, Mel, don't do this. You're making me cringe, please. Please say something. Mel. What? No. Oh, you can just let the other servants take care of the cleaning. You're one of the noble's daughters we took in, right? Then why is mother making... No, I'm doing this because I want to. The mistress appeared to be busy, and I could not simply be idle. But I enjoy cleaning. Got him. You basically told your coworker not to do her job and to let someone else do it for you. What the heck is wrong with you, man? Well, if you say so. Say, yesterday, this mansion is truly a thing of beauty. All the many roses in the garden, even the furnishing has a great deal of thought put into it. This family must have a wonderful sense of aesthetic. Oh, yeah, thanks. She just changed the subject on me. Yes, sir. I'm delighted to have been given the opportunity to serve at such a magnificent house. Mother and father actually had nothing to do with that, not even the garden. That's all been around since my grandfather's time. This mansion was a complete wreck when he bought it. Oh, was it? Yeah, frankly, I'm surprised he actually paid money for it. The chandelier in the foyer was shattered and only half attached to the ceiling. Most of the decorations on the walls were broken. I can hardly imagine. This is marvelous, impressive house. I'm sure he'd be flattered to hear it. My grandfather was a bit of an eccentric. He liked to do things people didn't expect to just watch the looks of surprise on their faces. He was the kind of man who would buy a mansion that was beyond repair just to give it a completely new life. Everyone who had seen the property before it was renovated... what? Everyone who had seen the property before it was renovated was astonished. Jeez, what is English? They regretted not taking the opportunity themselves, seeing the transformation it underwent. Huh? I was just thinking that you're kind of like... Oh... I was thinking that you're kind of like this house. What do you mean by that? I mean, when you first arrived... Oh... Mel. I swear. Oh my god, someone stop this man. You almost said you were peeping on her, basically. She'll figure out you were peeping on her, stupid baka. She hasn't yet, has she? Yes. It's nothing. The more I think about it, you and Dimension aren't really comparable. Oh, dude, no, you crushed her. Oh? The truth is, being a rundown mess isn't the only reason nobody wanted to buy the house. They say that all who dwell within this house shall be met with misfortune. Oh boy. Do you believe it? I'm just kidding. It's not actually true. No, you got that girl terrified. Look at her, man. Come on. It's all rumors and hearsay, embellished to make the tale more exciting. The rumors only started because of how it used to look. If the mansion truly begot misfortune, then we wouldn't still be here. And it wouldn't explain how my grandfather died. Do you know how he passed away? No, how did he? Inside a... What? Your grandfather passed away inside a lovely lady. Wait. What? Excuse me? Please tell me you're joking too, right? Inside a lovely lady. What? Believe it or not, that was how he died, together with a young, beautiful woman. His time ran out while he was making love to her. Jesus Christ. What? You know how traumatized this lady must have been? Just... don't even imagine. Rather crude way to go. Yeah, no kidding, dude. Imagine you making love to somebody and all of a sudden having that person pass away in front of you. Excuse me? Like you were making out with this person a couple seconds ago. What is this? But he was hardly misfortunate. But I tell you... Yes? Just so you know, I promise I didn't inherit my grandfather's prosperity for such base behavior. I am pure of body and spirit, dedicated wholly to my studies, so... Hey, there we go. Hey, she laughed. My apologies. No, it's fine. Anyways, we were talking about the mansion, right? I've always thought it was kind of a strange place myself. That dress you're wearing, it was found here after my grandfather bought it. You don't see that kind of design around these parts, so I'm guessing it was probably imported. The architecture is really old-fashioned too, which must have caught grandfather's eye. When he announced his plans to buy it, the entire family opposed his decision, but he refused to budge. Renovation upon renovation, they gave the mansion new life, but of all his work, he was most fond of the roses in the garden. He collected species from all across the world, and every time he got a new one, he would summon gardeners to arrange and grow them. It took incredibly long to complete. There were even some that wouldn't grow in the climate of this land, but grandfather refused to give in. He truly loved roses. Me, I don't really get how someone could be so impassioned about... Oh my god, dude. There's like not a trace of romance on you. Don't tell her that. It's just embarrassing every time someone calls this house Rose Manor. Perhaps the roses were meant for someone. What? I am simply speculating. Roses make wonderful gifts after all. Indeed they do. If you like roses as much as Nelly, then you're welcome to go see them for yourself. Pick as many as you'd like. If anyone asks, just say I gave you permission. Don't be shy. I'm sure it'll get tiring if all you do is work. No, I'm sensitive to some like, oh, that's unusual. Perhaps that explains why you're so pale. I had no idea. That sounds rough. And your skin is so... Yeah, boy. And your skin is so pretty, too. You don't seem terribly surprised. But, oh no, I'm very much surprised. Or would you have preferred a more dramatic response? No, I expected you to find it disturbing. I'm sensitive to sunlight and can hardly spend any time outside. That makes me sound like some kind of demonic creature. Oh, you worry too much. There's not a monster in the world as sweet as... There's not a monster in the world as sweet as you. Yes? Are the other maids teasing you, perhaps? That black-haired one, especially, she's... How should I put it? A little frightening. Almost as if she has a steel heart or something. She's impenetrable. Right, she's one of Mother's maids too, isn't she? Now I'm even more worried. Since you refused to follow my instructions, you are henceforth hellspawn. I can imagine her saying that. Oh, and again, I'm very sorry. No need to apologize. In fact, I wish you'd laugh more. There you go. Yes, sir. She's actually very kind to me, and everything she does with incredible precision and efficiency. She looks so young, and yet she has such skill. How long has she been here in the mansion? Actually, she's been here for quite some time, but I don't know exactly how long. No one knows how old she is. It's kind of creepy. I have never once considered her such. Sorry, you're right. It's bad manners to speak ill of others. By the way, she still scares me. It's like there's no light in her eyes. Or like her smiles are all faked. It doesn't make her any less pretty, though. Oh, the conversation died. I have to think of something else to talk about. Come on, dude. Yes? You can ask me anything. Does the master, your father, Lord Mel, often retire from the mansion? I have not seen him around. Oh, yeah. Father frequently returns home. This mansion is actually our secondary house. Why do you ask, though? I was just curious, nothing more. Yes, what is it? One of the maids asked me to see, so I should be on my way, if you'll excuse me. Oh, one of the maids asked to see me, so I should be on my way, if you'll excuse me. What? Alright, see you later then. Goodbye. Oh, right, one moment. Give her something. Since you're sensitive to the sun, I can pick some roses from time to time for you. For you to decorate your room. Lord Mal. That's all. Sorry for holding you up. Why am I so bad at this? She definitely thinks I'm obnoxious. I want to hide under a rock. I want to reverse time and try this over again. Roses are not becoming of me. He is too kind. Don't sell yourself short like that. What do you mean? Oh, back at church. Let's go. You have my thanks, Father. And I apologize for being late today. Now there's something unusual. You not being punctual. Maybe next we'll go a whole month without rain. Do have mercy on next year's crop smell. You hyperbolize, Father. So, did something nice happen? Huh? You look like you're in good spirits. Do I? No, nothing. Something did happen, didn't it? It's all over my face, isn't it? People prefer an open book to a face of stone. So it is. People may prefer it, but it's not a good trait to have for social engagements. What? Not the kind of engagements you'll be having anyways. Hahaha, I'm sorry, don't look so dejected. For now, at least there's nothing wrong with that. So tell me, what has you in such a joyous mood, Mel? You torment me so, Father. You've taken on another maid. You know how that goes, right? Someone new comes and things get lively for a while. All the excitement has gotten to me, that's all. Oh ho ho. Why are you looking at me like that? No reason, no reason. So what family does the little lady come from? Oh, I actually don't know. You don't know? I was going to ask her, but I missed my chance. Father has returned home, and I can't speak to Mother. I see. She's caught your eye, has she? Yeah, she has. But the truth is, you're more than just interested in her, are you not? What? No, I... You truly do enjoy tormenting me? Well, I should be getting home now. Mel, yes? Make certain you find out where she's from. If you're genuinely interested in her, it's your responsibility to determine if she's actually suitable for you. Thank you, and excuse me. I don't think he cares about any statures or anything like that. Doesn't seem like it, at least. Not to me. Yeah, I called it. Let's go. Doesn't matter if she's from an esteemed family or not. Let's go, Mel. No, I'm not in love with her. I'm just in... Nah, you're in love with her, dude. I already called it. It couldn't be. This is me we're talking about. Besides, I hardly even know her. Young sire, bless young sire, alms for the poor. It's the same beggar as before. I don't think he's moved since then. But he looks skinnier than last time. He's going to have trouble making it through the summer. I should give him something while I still have the chance. Alms for the poor, have mercy. Sorry, but this is all I have to give you. Oh, thank you very much. Blessings upon you. May the Lord bless your soul, young sire. Thanks. I feel bad for him, but that's just the way of the world. Farewell. The skies are really clear. The sun shone fiercely down on the town that day. As was characteristic of the area, cloudy days and the rain were frequent during the season, but the sun almost always took the stage by day after a storm. The cathedral standing tall in the center of town. The stone-paved streets clacking with the pleasant sound of footsteps, the people peering out from beneath awnings to look up at the sky. In Mel's eyes, it was as if they were all blessed by divine light. However, not everyone living in the same land was equally blessed. In fact, the blessed were far outnumbered by the forsaken, even if their time would later come to be referred as the Golden Age. Elsewhere, back at the mansion, Nellie was causing trouble for the Abigail. Nellie, on a whim, she had decided to redecorate her bedchamber, so she gathered the maids and put them to work, shouting orders and demands and complaints. Jeez, Nellie, come on now. And she had not summoned only her personal servants, but others as well, including the white-haired girl. Uh-oh. Oh no, Nellie, why are you turning so corrupt? No, not like that. How many times must I tell you? The tapestry goes by the door, and I don't like the carpet's pattern. Is there anything else we can change it with? Hey, who put this ugly vase here? Nellie appeared to be rather irritated, and it was the servants who bore the brunt of her frustration. Though if they found this similarly vexing, none of them showed it. She was a girl who spoke her mind, a trait particular to that time in history. Women of the Golden Age were so vivacious, in fact, that it inspired parody and satire in foreign countries. But no matter how hands-off her parents were, had Nellie been born a generation earlier or a generation later, she likely would have not been able to act so free-spirited. That day, however, Nellie did not seem to be her usual self. Uh-oh. No. Relax, Nellie. Though she always spoke her mind, it rarely went beyond being childishly adorable. It was unusual to see her in such a foul mood, not even a smile on her face. Get rid of all of it. The carpet, that chair, the desk, it's all so ugly. Don't we have anything better? If you don't, then order it. Have it made. You can do that much, can't you? Hurry up and replace them. No, have mercy. Please have mercy on this girl. Please. Please have mercy on this girl. Come on. Don't do this. Nellie, I beg you. Having only arrived that morning, the white-haired girl was unsure what she was supposed to be doing, caught in the middle of a flurry of maids and furniture and fabric. She chased frantically, scrambling Abigail's with her eyes and made attempts to help, but not being familiar with the work, she only ended up getting in their way. She probably felt that everyone would be better off without her in the room. Without her not in the room. So when the maids ordered to get the new furniture made their way out of Nellie's room, she attempted to follow them. You, hold on a second. Yes, you with the white hair. Oh no, Nellie, let her go. Please. Let her go. What? And the white-haired girl turns back, bewildered to find Nellie smiling at her. The corners of her mouth turned up into a self-assured grin. There was no trace of timidity timidity or uncertainty in her demeanor. Her flaxen eyes seemed like they would look nicer under the light of the sun. Almost the exact opposite of the white-haired girl. I wanted to talk to you, actually, but Mother never was one to share. I asked her to trade maids, but she wouldn't have it. Trade? You mean for... Which is why I decided to completely redecorate my room, because then I would need some extra hands. But why? Because Mother and Father refused to tell me anything. Why is that? Who are you exactly? Where did you come from? Tell me, what house are you from? Why can't you tell me? If we took you in, you must be from a fairly decent family. As a member of the Rhodes family, I have a right to know. Do I not? You can't expect me to welcome a girl into my home who won't even tell me where she's from. I don't know anything about you. I haven't seen you at any parties. Oh. I came from another country. Another country? What country? Somewhere very, very far away. Oh. North of here? East? West? South? South. It's south of here. Across the sea to get here, which is why we have never met before. How far did you have to travel then? How many times did the sun rise, and how many stormy nights did you face? Jeez, innumerable days and nights we sailed, heading ever further north. So tell me, Lady Nelly, that is a most wonderful painting. She just tried to brush me off. I won't let her get away that easy. Painting? It's in my room, so of course it's wonderful. But that one's especially so. You're both so adorable. You, Lady Nelly, and Lord Mel. How old were you when it was painted? That painting. Goodness, yes, you have a very good eye for art. It is magnificent, isn't it? This was done when I was 4 and Mel was 7. You see how we're standing next to each other, holding hands? Oh jeez, I was too young to remember it very well, but Mel looks like he was really embarrassed. But standing there like statues makes for a boring picture, a painting. Nellie explained brightly. Having completely forgotten she was pressed up against the white-haired girl, she did a little twirl, stopping to face the portrait. Though many paintings lined the walls of her room, Nellie was most fond of the one of her and her brother. Killer, we haven't even gotten to the good part, Killer. At least not yet. I've been reading a lot of backstory. 2 darling siblings standing side by side, the older brother smiling kindly and the younger sister sweetly tilting her head, her cheeks the color of fresh picked apples. It was like the very embodiment of their happiness. A painting lays its subjects bare, you know. Fortune and misfortune, happiness and sorrow, enshrined on canvas for all to see. And this reflection is not merely limited to the point in time it was made either. Did you know, Master, that paintings are alive? They are drawn with the brush over an extended stretch of time, unlike photographs which capture a singular moment. The two have their own individual merits, but a photograph is still, wow, a painting moves. Portraits reveal both the past and the present state of those they depict. Mel and I have always been close. I would sing songs for him, and he would teach me all sorts of things. He's so smart. Nowadays, Mel hardly even goes on walks with me, making excuses like, I'm an adult now. But we used to spend a lot of time playing together in the rose garden. I see. The white-haired girl normally had difficulty smiling, but her lips naturally curled upward as Nellie reminisced. A vision of the 2 happy siblings had probably swelled up in her mind. And I imagine there was a faint trace of envy in her heart as well. Lady Nellie, you love Lord Mel quite deeply, I see. Yes, of course I do. Mel's smart and he's studious and he's incredibly kind. For my birthday, he gave me this wonderful rose necklace. The jewelry shop he got it from is famous because even the royal family makes commissions from their workshop. So he had to have ordered it months in advance. Just for me. He's a prince. Oh? He's pretty charming, wouldn't you say? That's why I call him my prince. But you know what? Mel is a terrible dancer, and he still hasn't gotten his feet on the ground yet, so he's bad at interacting with girls. So there's no one else who would say that about him. He is quite the gentleman. I assumed women would be drawn to him. Careful. Don't tread. Oh no. No, don't compliment him. Gentlemen, have you met Mel already? This morning, briefly. Oh no. That reminds me, Mel seemed to know about her too. What do you think about Mel? As I said, he is a gentleman. That's not what I mean. Don't think I'll let you get away with putting my funny ideas in his head. With any funny ideas in his head. What? Mel is too trusting. He's pure of heart, so I won't stand for you trying to take advantage of him. I would never. So you say, but you actually want to get close to him. I wouldn't dream of it, Lady Nellie. He is a man far beyond my reach. You aren't planning on doing anything, are you? Not at all. And you don't have any romantic feelings for him, do you? What? Well, do you? I have no romantic feelings for him, Lady Nellie. Oh, I feel like she lied. And you won't develop any? Hard to say. Hard to say. I will not. And with that, Nellie gave a wide, satisfied grin, even though one has no way of knowing how another truly feels, or how they might in the future, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't, would you? Now that I think about it, there are plenty of other boys. You getting together with Mel is downright absurd. Indeed. But anyways, back to what we were talking about earlier. Your family, I almost forgot. You haven't told me exactly where you came from or anything about your... Oh, interruption, let's go. Lady Nellie, I bought you a new carpet. Just look at the embroidery. The work of a true artisan. I'm simply in love with it. Surely you'll find it to your liking as well. Wow, you're right. That's a Florentine stitch, isn't it? I wonder whether someone mimicked the style or if it was imported. Either way, it's a great find. Let's hurry up and get it laid out. Oh, and we'll have to see how the colors go with everything else. We have to finish redecorating quickly so I can show Mel. He'll be so surprised. What wonderful taste you have, Nellie. Oh, it's like high school drama all over again. Let's go. I'm rooting for the white hair girl. I feel like Nellie's turned too corrupt. So that's what money does to you sometimes. When the other Abigails returned, so too did the rustle within Nellie's room. As the white-haired girl watched, a faint smile crossed her lips. Perhaps it was from relief at having escaped Nellie's inquisition. Or perhaps... Nellie, I'm back. Did you eat something? You're not supposed to, dearest Mel. You're unusually cheerful. Oh no. It's because of the maid. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I'm the same as always. Anyway, never mind that, dearest Mel. Take a look at my room. I redecorated today. So that's what you've been doing, hiding away in the house all day, Nellie. How's that any different than what you were doing? You were in the church all day. I guess. I will look at your room, I promise. But first, oh my god. Oh, Mel, why? Oh no. Mel is dense. Do you know where the new maid is? Oh no. You done pissed her off. Now, don't get any strange ideas. I just haven't yet had the chance to introduce myself, and I thought I should, as a member of the family. Except you have, and I know it. Being the eldest son, it would be shameful if she were to pass me in the halls not even knowing who I am. Oh my god, you are lying. Oh my god, she's going to kill you. Don't ask me. What? But you were in the house all day. She attends to mother, so why would I know where she is? Though she did help me decorate my room. You made her help. That's work for the men servants. There was no reason to make the maids do it. Oh, so you're saying I should invite a bunch of men into my room? I go in your room all the time, Nellie, and you were in my bedchamber just this morning. Only one man is allowed in my bedroom, dearest Mel, and that is you. So unless you become a servant, which I will not stand for, I will not ask any of them for help. Oh, Nellie. You ought to be a little more what? If you're going to lecture me, I won't hear it. What am I going to do with you, my little lady? What? What? Why are you looking at me like that? We talked about you, dearest Mel, and I'm not going to tell you what she said. About me? What did she say? Please, Nellie. Oh, you're showing emotions. You're showing emotions, Mel. She said... She says she has no romantic interest in you. What? Why did that even come up? Because we're both girls. We talk about things like what kind of boys we like and who's the most handsome. Why do you look so downtrodden, dear Mel? You look like a sad little boy who can't get his crush to notice him. That face is unbecoming of a prince, Mel. Are you interested in her? That's strange. You haven't even met. I am not. It's just depressing to find out that someone you've never met doesn't like you. That's all. I don't know, Mel. I think Nellie's she's a lot smarter than she looks. What? If I'm going to make my move, I must do so. Oh, come on. I don't have much time. The master of the house isn't around, so next in line would be him. That painting. This is getting to be a little spicy. Let's get it, come on. Despite his near devastation by Nellie's news, Mel's flaxen eyes continued to wander in hopes of catching sight of the girl. By now it should be quite obvious to tell you what Mel was feeling. Love. But the boy himself was having difficulty comprehending the things going through his heart. Emotionally, he was horribly unstable, like a ship without sail. And still, every time he spotted the white-haired girl, his heart would leap, his whole body jitter with anxiety and excitement. He had never felt anything like this before, and as such, he struggled to keep these strange emotions in check. Whenever he saw an opportunity, Mel would speak to the white-haired girl. And days he was unable to, he either spent in secluded silence or a distracted gaze. Love is a curious thing. It has the power to change those who experience it. Facts. When he did manage to approach her, he tripped over his tongue. Oh boy. Again and again he talked to her, and again he stumbled. I imagine, if you were to take him to see a romance at the theater in his present state, he would cry just as much as little Nellie. We cry at tragedies because we draw parallels with our own lives. At least, that is what I think. Great tales of romance attain true gravity with the audience only when they are personally familiar with love. In any event, the white-haired girl was, as a result of this, visibly perturbed. She was delighted that he was being so kind to her, but confusion overpowered every other emotion. She appeared to be at a loss for what to do as he clumsily catapulted words and stares at her. But Mel did not back down. Yes, sir, keep going. Though he probably knew not what caused such fiery emotion to erupt from within his breast. One's first love, in particular, tends to burn like a wildfire. Facts. Are you familiar with the sensation, Master? Oh? Ah. There she is. Is she cleaning? No, looks like she's reading. It's now or never. Go get him, Mel. Oh, let's go. Oh, why would you do that? Boo. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. What do you mean you didn't mean to scare her? You literally... Whatever. Lord Mel, you very clearly meant to... Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Because you just wouldn't notice me. What are you reading? You look pretty engrossed. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked for permission. Oh, come on, don't be like that. It's fine, no need to apologize. Feel free to read whatever you want, and you're welcome to bring books back to your room if you'd like to spend more time with them. But I was just amazed that the mansion had a library. It must have been a lot of work to collect all these books. There are some pretty old books in here too. Her grandfather's? Some that he collected, and some even older than that. Take a look at this. I think it's a diary, but it's not from this country. Or this century, for that matter. Maybe a feudal lord? Haha, here, he's complaining about the quality of the harvest. Can this forsaken land only produce over sour grapes? If only the largest of the Barney? Or maybe Barnier? If only the largest of the Barnier estates were mine instead. The land there is much more suitable to cultivation. There you have it. You can read this, Lord Mel? More or less. I've looked over it several times already, so that wasn't too difficult. How would such an old book be here? I'm not sure. It and all of this was already here when I moved into the mansion. Have you not lived here your whole life? I was born at our estate, but to me and Nellie, this is more like our home. We moved when I was still young, and we've lived here ever since. Nelly and Mother have both grown quite fond of it. Father, though, often goes back to the house because he doesn't like all the roses. By himself. Yeah, well, sometimes Mother goes with him, but for the most part, he goes alone. But don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't get along. In fact, they act more like teenagers in love than grown adults. It almost makes me sick having to watch it. It is a wonderful thing to be so close, no matter how old they may be. True, but still, there are those in the world who cannot be with the ones they care for as much as they may wish. Oh, whoa, whoa. I feel like that's the longest sentence she's ever said. I'm sorry about that. You probably hit a nerve. Oh, that's right, the book. What were you reading? I, wasn't exactly reading. Oh, does she not know how to... Oh, no. Oh, I don't think she can read. I do not enjoy reading lots of text, so I was looking at the pictures. Is that so? You seem very cultured, so I thought you would be partial to reading. Perhaps you're actually more like Nelly and eschew your studies. Yes. I wouldn't have guessed. But you like looking at pictures. I do. What else do you like? What? What do you enjoy doing? Oh, come on, he's trying to get to know you. Come on, answer. It can be anything. I enjoy being told stories. Let's go. Stories? Yes, when I was young, my father would tell me tales. What kind of stories did you like? There was one about an imprisoned girl. Tell it to me. Once there was a girl, and she was locked away in a mansion deep in the forest. A mansion with only one window. But the window sat high upon the wall, far beyond her reach, so it was always very dark inside, unlike this mansion. However, the girl did not like the outside world. There were lots of scary things out there after all. Though she may have been all alone in the mansion, she grew comfortable with the darkness in time, so she had nothing to be afraid of. And then, am I doing a good job? You're doing fine. Keep going. What happens next? Okay. And then, the girl grew up. By then, she had already forgotten why she was locked up, but she was content with the darkness. However, her eyes couldn't help but be drawn to the little bit of light that spilled through the one window. Though she was comfortable in the darkness, the sight of the light made her heart race. At first, the girl thought it was because she found it unpleasant, because she disliked the light and the outside. But slowly she came to realize that she was curious about the outside world. What could be happening out there? For all she knew, the town, the forest, the people, all of it could have changed while she was imprisoned in the mansion. But she had no way of finding out. So the girl decided to write letters and throw them out the window. What began as an empty grasping became routine, continuing for several months until she was finally ready to give up. But then a beautiful white dove flew in through the window. Oh, and tied to the dove's leg was a letter. Her heart racing, she read the words contained within. It seemed to have been written by a man. The letter contained numerous questions for the girl. It also said that if she attached her reply to the dove, it would bring the letter back to him. She was astonished, but she wrote him back anyway, taking care not to mention where she was. After having exchanged letters a number of times, the two felt very close to one another, as though they had known each other for many years despite having never met. And eventually the man said he wanted to meet her. Indeed. The girl was unsure what to do. Should she tell him of how she lived? Should she reveal where she spent her days? She was afraid. If she did, he would cease to send her letters. She was sure he believed her to be a young lady of noble blood, and not a girl locked away in a house deep in the forest. The girl could not bring herself to write a response. She released the dove through the window with nothing attached to its leg. And yet it returned with another letter written in the man's familiar hand. You must surely have a great reason for your silence, it said. I would like to know that reason, and I would like to help you. No matter what it may be, you have my word. She deliberated. Though his letters were kind, she did not know this man. He was from the outside. Would he still treat her the same way when he met her? And did she even want to step out into the world beyond? What do you think she did? Oh. Oh. Sorry about that. Has something come up? Wrote a letter and agreed to meet him, right? Yes, she did. The girl made up her mind she would write a letter. As always, when she tied it to the dove's leg, it flew out of the window, and for some time after that, she received no response from the man. This saddened her, but she thought it was for the best. She belonged in her own confined world, her world of darkness. But then one day, light shone into the mansion. The man came to the rescue. Come on. The sealed door had been opened, and in the doorway stood a handsome young man. I have come for you, he said. The man was a prince from a neighboring kingdom. When the girl stepped outside, before her sat a magnificent carriage, the likes of which she had never before seen, accompanied by many servants. The prince, as kind as in the letters, swore his love to her, and the two lived happily ever after. Oh. Ah, what a nice story. I'm glad it had a happy ending. A prince. Was there something funny about the story? No, that's not why I was laughing. Do you ever imagine what it would be like if a prince showed up for you? Oh, well, alright, no. Okay, let's get it. Come on, swoon her, let's go. Huh? It doesn't have to be a real prince, even just someone like one. Is that something you dream about? Oh, no, I think I'm perhaps a little too old for that. I know before I said asking about a woman's age and her weight is kind of rude, but what do you mean you're a little too old for that? You think so? Nellie still fantasizes about her prince and she's 14. I just assumed all girls were the same. Oh, fudge. Lady Nellie's prince. That's you, Lord Mel, no? What? Is it not? No, cut it off. Cut it off. There we go. There we go. There we go. I mean, we used to play make-believe a lot when we were kids, but I very much doubt she still thinks of me that way in earnest. When she calls me her prince now, it's mostly in jest. Oh, let's go, come on. If it weren't, that would be concerning. Oh? Yo. Come on. Come on. Get together, let's go. That story, do you know if it's a regional tale? One that has been passed down through the ages? I am not sure. It could very well be one. It could very well be of my father's own creation. You might think me conceited, but I think the story might be about me. The girl trapped in the mansion is you? You haven't been locked up anywhere before, have you? No, thankfully. I have never been locked up before. Thank goodness. But with an appearance like mine, I can sympathize with her being afraid of the outside world. I have, at times, imagined how wonderful life would be if it were only me and my father. She's reflecting. But the girl left the house in the end. If your father really wrote that story, then I believe it contains his hopes for you to end up the same way. Yo, yes sir. Oh? I don't have what it takes to be a real prince and whisk you away, but I can at least pretend. Let's go! Let's go! Yes sir! Come on, Mel. Keep it up. You're doing great, dude. You are doing fantastic. F what everyone else says. I think you're doing great. I can at least pretend. Come on. React to it. Smile. So if it was your father's wish for you to see the outside world, then surely there's nothing wrong with you getting out and experiencing all the scenery that the world has to offer. Except she can't have too much exposure to sunlight. I want to see the outside world too. Or, to be more specific, other countries. So, forget your rank, move to a different country with her. Let's go. If you'd like, No, what are those footsteps? No! No, don't do this. If it's Nelly, I swear I would be very upset. Could maybe go see distant lands together. Oh my god, Nelly, go away. Ah, dearest Mel, I've been looking all over for you. Nelly, look at this, dearest Mel. Mother bought me these wonderful gloves to wear on walks. The roses embroidered on the wrists are just precious. Oh my, you're right. They are beautiful. You appear to be dizzy, Lord Mel. Are you feeling unwell? No, I'm fine. Haha. Oh my god. I hate you so much, Nelly. My man was going in. Oh my gosh. Because he did talk about having plans to at least move out of the country and just forget his rank and everything. And this would be the perfect chance for you to just take her and study abroad. But no. Nelly ruins everything. Mel was feeling frustrated at his inability to convey his feelings to her. That wasn't your fault, dude. Oh boy. And as his frustration built over time, he developed, I suppose you could call it a severe case of lovesickness. For several consecutive nights, he had been afflicted with a peculiar sensation, a presence in his bedchamber. Yo. No. Oh. Death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. No. Don't do this. Death to the witch. No, don't tell me the... No, she better... No, 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 no. No. I'm pretty sure that says kill her. No, don't do this. Don't do this. I'm very invested in this white-haired lady. Please. Jeez. Why? I never will. So the story actually had a bad ending. No way, dude. I never wanted her to die. Was she not eating? Seal off the tower. Understood? No one finds out about this. How can you be so calm? Don't you understand what you've done? Ha! Pinning the blame on me? How nice it must be to be able to distort reality with panic. You're just as guilty as any of us. I never wanted her to die. Wait. The witch killed her. The blood of the witch killed my... Did I say sister? S-I-S-T-E. That's enough for sister. The blood of the witch killed my sister. I want to say sister. It's not woman, right? W-O-A... No. Wait. W-O-A... I... No. No. Forget it. Oh, jeez. I'm just gonna assume it says sister. A dream? What was that dream? It was horribly unsettling. I was holding someone, a girl I cared for dearly, in my arms, and she was limp. It was almost as if she were dead. I've been having a lot of really unpleasant dreams lately. I can't stop shaking. Why would I have such a dream? I feel sick. I just leave. But I wonder, who was that girl? Relax. I can sense someone standing beyond my door. Is someone there? It's like they're watching me. Is it just my imagination? I can't move. What do you want? Go away. Ha. The sound is growing fainter. Oh, don't tell me it was her. Oh no, I hope you... Is that truly what your story meant, Father? But such a magnificent garden. Something we could never have had. Are my intentions misguided? What a beautiful white rose. Yo. You know, no one was watching. Oh no. What a... How long have you... Oh, you needn't pay me any mind. I shall not condemn you, no matter what you might do. Rather, I am on your side. I was not going to do anything. Oh, is that so? Then perhaps you were out for a late night stroll. I imagine you have less difficulties going outside at night. That is true. She has trouble with sun exposure. There it is. I beg your pardon. I will return to the mansion immediately. Oh yes, that reminds me. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I am sure you would have heard about it. Oh? Although, was Gemshash imprisoned? Dear me, I'm having trouble remembering. But worry not. If you wish for it, the mansion shall provide. You are in no danger whatsoever of getting caught. You said that a witch lives in the mansion, did you not? I did. Does that sound perhaps a bit archaic to you? No. I believe those rumors mockingly refer to me. Oh my. I have been accused of being a witch before. Oh. Which is amusing. I don't have any magical powers. I simply have an unusual appearance. Oh. My, what a lovely shade of red. The rose. Is something the matter? This rose was white until I took it in my hand. Is that so? I apologize. I must sound my... Yo, we'll talk about powers. I'm sure I was just mistaken. It couldn't possibly have changed. I wonder. Yes? Did the girl locked in the mansion become a princess? What? We should lock up and head to bed. Make sure all the shutters are closed, nice and tight, then draw the bar on the front door. This is getting good. Granted, I have not played anything. I have not been able to move. I have not even been able to save anything like that. But hey, this is crazy. Slowly but surely, time trekked onward, everyone working toward their own individual goals. Each early summer breeze that blew through the garden was like God's hollowed breath carrying the flowers' fragrance through Rose Manor's windows. If only time could be stopped and this beautiful era made to live on through eternity. As usual, Mel's eyes chased after the white-haired girl, and Nellie pursued her lips in frustration at him. But she was still rather docile. Even taking into account how self-centered she behaved, how fickle her temper, Nellie's fits were still no worse than a playful kitten. See, at that very moment, our lively little feline had her claws poised to swat the flaxen-haired young man. Mel, you promised me, or have you forgotten? I haven't forgotten. I'm just asking if we can go another day. Another day? This is something that happens every day. I've been looking forward to tonight's performance for so long. There's nothing I can do about that. We're having a gathering at the priest's home tonight. Several high-ranking officials have come up from the mainland just for this. Who cares? I care. You know, Nellie, it doesn't have to be me who goes with you. No, I want to go with you, Mel. You've been so distant lately, dearest Mel. You refuse to do anything with me. That's not true. Tell me, if you can't go today, when can you go? When will you be willing to go out with me? When will you be willing to play cards with me? To have tea together? I can't make any promises. I have things to do, obligations. And Nellie, you're almost an adult yourself. Stop acting like such a child. Oh, you told her what to do. I'm still not an adult yet. I'm still a kid. If it means I don't get to play with you anymore, dearest Mel, then I don't want to be an adult. Nellie, you can't... Lady Nellie, the master wishes to speak to you. Huh? Father does? What could he want? Go on, Nellie. You can't make Father wait. He's very particular about having people keeping their appointments. Yes, he is. Unlike you, dearest Mel. What's got her in such a foul mood? Oh, the father probably didn't call for her. The maid probably just wanted to talk to him. Let's go. Oh, thank goodness for small miracles. Nellie just won't seem to take me at my word lately. You mustn't be so harsh on her. She is your one and only darling little sister. You're right, but still, she's taken it a bit too far of late. Oh? I am not so sure. She does not seem to be behaving any differently to me. Am I the one acting differently then? Well, enough about that. Can I ask you a favor? Me? What can I do for you? I was thinking. Physically, Mel was undeniably a young man, but the smirk that crossed his lips as he schemed gave his face the sweet look of a little boy. Or perhaps that was simply part of his charm, and it was not the age disparity, but his character that made his smile so heartwarming. What did he ask of me? You shall find out soon enough. She's out in the sun? It's cloudy, okay. Thank goodness for that too. Though it would be even better if it were even darker out. I believe the textile shop was around here. Ah. Hi there. Lord Mel, fancy meeting you here? Yeah, what a surprise. So, what do you say we take this chance to go for a little walk? Since you're sensitive to the sunlight, we can keep our eyes out for shadowy areas as we go. And if you feel unwell, just let me know. I was sent out to run an errand. Don't worry about that. Come on, follow me. I don't know about that, Chief. Oh, it's silent. I'm sorry. It, actually wasn't an accident that we crossed paths. I planned this out ahead of time. I asked to have you sent out on a fake errand. It feels like I'm always on alert back at the mansion. Can't relax in my own house. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, that was inappropriate of me. I just thought since the sun's mostly blocked out, it would be alright if... I'm feeling just fine. Ah. Of course, I get her out of the house and I can't even think of anything to say. Hey, yes? Have you settled into life at the mansion? I have. Everyone has been such a big help. That's good to hear. Indeed. Oh, come on, guys. So, yes? Nellie told me she had you help redecorate her room some time back. Ah, yes, that was shortly after I arrived. What of it? Yeah, that day Nellie told me that you don't, I don't? No, why? Why? Why did you back down from that? That you don't have any romantic feelings? Come on, dude. Never mind. Sorry. It's not important. It is important, but I can't just ask how she feels about me. That would make it sound like I... sound like I do, don't I? Lord Mel? Oh, sorry. I had something on my mind. It looks like it might rain again today. The weather usually gets better as summer approaches, not worse like it's been. It won't be a heavy storm though. No, the wind is too gentle. You can tell from that? Vaguely, but yes. Huh, that's impressive. I often leave the house unprepared, only to find myself sloshing back in the rain. You laugh a lot more than you used to. Do I? Yeah, and I like that. You look better with a smile on your face. A smile suits Lady Nell. Also, a smile suits you as well, Lord Mel. What am I supposed to do in the face of a smile like that? So, yes. Knowing her, if I ask I'm imposing, she'll say no without hesitation. Give me 1 second. Sorry, there was some beeping in my house. Had to check out what it was. Knowing her, if I ask if I'm imposing, she'll say no without hesitation. Trying to cover myself isn't going to get me anywhere. Hold on a second. I never did get you those flowers like I promised. There was a single white rose blooming in the garden. I was planning to give it to you, but it disappeared before I had the chance. Oh, that's the same one. That's the same one that turned red. So, I'd like you to have this. It's not a real rose, but it won't wilt either. Mel was holding an ornamental white rose. It was an impressively detailed replica of the real thing, crafted by an incredibly skilled artisan's hand. It was, I imagine, made by the same craftsman from whom Mel had ordered Nellie's birthday necklace. The young man who, but a handful of days earlier, had said he had no sweetheart, had come in to commission a present for a girl. The master of the shop must have been quite surprised, or perhaps it had given him a good laugh instead. It was for this moment that he so desperately sought for time together with the white-haired girl. I don't know what you like, so I had to base it on my sister's taste. My apologies, I cannot accept this. Is the design not to your liking? No, if you're concerned about how much I paid for it, don't be. I just want you to have it, that's all. Please. She might turn it red too, huh? Why are you so kind to me? Why? Because I'm sorry, I can't accept it. Oh, come on. A clear glint of flustered panic was visible in her red eyes. There is not a girl in the world whose heart would not flutter at the sight of the sparkling rose accessory. But her reaction was far from delight. As a matter of fact, there were traces of fear and apprehension in her countenance. I beg your pardon. Hold on. With a look of distress on her face, the white-haired girl made to run off, but Mel grabbed her by the arm in the nick of time. Uh-oh. At least, tell me why. Is it because you dislike me? I never said. Something's wrong with me. From the day you arrived at the mansion, it's like I haven't been myself. I've been strangely aflutter ever since then. Whether I try to study or whether I try to read, none of it sticks. I'm just looking at pages of text, tracing rows of letters, only for them to disappear as soon as I look away. It's all because of you. I truly am sorry. Please, don't be any more generous than you already have. When I'm with you, my willpower wavers. What do you mean by that? I'm so sorry. Wait! Mel's grip loosened for a moment, allowing her to slip free and dart off like a gust of wind, not giving him a chance to stop her a second time. The dumbfounded flaxen-haired boy stood frozen in place, left all by himself. The breeze, which the white-haired girl had called gentle earlier, felt faintly chilly, almost as if mocking him. Looks like she's even less fond of me than I thought. God, I'm crying. I'm pathetic. Oh, come on, no. Well, if it isn't Mel, what might you be... You crying? I'm so pitiful. Sorry you had to see me like this. Think nothing of it. I passed by a girl just a few moments ago. She appeared to be rather distressed as well. Did something happen between the two of you? I wasn't good enough, it seems. Not good enough. That was the new maid I was telling you about before. I was, like you said, father, I was keen on her, quite. Enough to bring me to tears like a miserable child. But she rejected me. I don't even have what it takes to be a stand-in prince. Mel, I apologize for complaining to you about this. I'm completely hopeless. Mel, please, don't try to cheer me up. I don't need any sympathy. No, Mel, listen to me. What? I've seen that girl before. What do you mean? But, you said she was a servant at your house, right? In which case... Yes, she is. Please tell me, father, where did you see her? Why must you be so evasive? It was probably someone else. Oh, come on. You're someone else? You're saying you mistook someone who stands out as much as her? Father. She, and a man who I assume is her father, paid a visit to the church once. They came asking for food, their clothes in tatters. The two were emaciated, Jesus. I don't think they were eating daily. What? Wait a minute, are you saying she's a beggar? But father said she came from an esteemed house, which is why I said I might be mistaken, Mel. She has a singular aspect, but it's possible there's another girl who looks similar. Deep down, though, the priest surely believed the opposite, and so he said sternly, like a teacher to a pupil, "But you must be absolutely certain, Mel. Understood? You cannot proceed any further without knowing her ancestry." May I visit the church, father? By all means. In the back of Mel's mind, a vision of the night of the storm The night the white-haired girl arrived at the mansion was surely replaying. She had been wearing little more than rags and covered in grime, hardly the appearance of a respectable young lady of class. Have I been putting her through unnecessary stress? If she actually turns out to be rankless, no matter where she comes from, my heart is decided. I will not fool myself about how I feel any longer. No, I cannot fool myself. How does she feel? What will everyone else think? I have to find out why she was welcomed into our house. I'll ask mother or father. No. If for some reason they don't know she isn't aristocratic, I'm better off not saying anything. But if they don't, then does that mean she's been lying to us? And to them? I have to find out. This time I must get answers. No, absolutely not. You come back and the first thing you say is that? I hate you, father. I will not stand for this. Ah. Oh. Why? Why would he just suddenly throw that on me? He didn't even ask for my opinion. No, I won't do it. I'm fine with the way things are. I'm just fine. Oh, okay. Well, I'm starting to feel a little bad now. Why is she crying? Dearest Mel, I need your help. I don't... Is she marrying? Yup. Want to get married. This family is tearing up so fast. Jeez. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full dealing with immediate day-to-day tasks, so I could do naught but pray there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. Doesn't look like it. Mel's having problems. The white-haired girl, I'm pretty sure, is low-key a witch. Like, a beggar witch. Nellie's out to get married. Father leaves by himself to go live somewhere else. Like, what is going on? Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. But I am but a mere maid. There are limits to what I am allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads, such as the one we were following, have a way of diverging with little warning. And if you do not trust the wheel exactly right at those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off, of course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. They're looking down at me. I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses! You're just going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down on me. My neck... I can't speak. I can't move. These cold fingers. That soft breath. That's the white-haired girl. Uh-oh. Don't kill him, please. Because she did mention that her willpower wavers with him. Oh no. Don't kill him. Why? I can move my body, but that's not important right now. Oh, it is. You smell of roses, the scent of a world far removed from ours. He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize that he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of the ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word, for that moment at least. Her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower and a continuously burning agitation that aroused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? It will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise. Why? To put an end to this family. You are my only... Why are you shaking? Oh. Oh, not why is she doing this? Why? Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. But he did not shout, nor did he tremble in fear. He instead expressed for concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit. I am not shaking. You are. I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice too grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You're not doing this because you genuinely want to. There is some other reason. This is what I desire. Have you been to my room before? You have. I'm sorry. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply that you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point you would be willing to take my life with your own hands? No. No, I don't. See? Like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me, why is it? Yo. Mel, okay. I am sorry. I will leave your room now. I will do my best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything ever happened. You think I'm just going to say okay and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason? I'm sorry. Alright then, I'll try and guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow, am I right? Oh, Mel is catching on. I thought so. How do you know about that? The priest at the church told me he had seen you before. He also told me a little about your origin. But that's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please, tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came to the mansion, and why father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to mother or father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you, or have you punished. I'll even swear to God, if you like. I want to be the prince who whisked you away. I want to be like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck. Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push me away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. If you dislike me, and don't want to be with me, then, well, I'll just have to live with that, as much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options, things we can do about your... No, that's not it. I've tried to hate you so many times. So yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious looking down on him, that it seemed as though if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling, like she had tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes fixated on hers, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you, and I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please, tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mel, of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched. Just for the briefest of moments, it appeared in the darkness as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently that we had heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting, so after living in one place for long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, but he had trouble finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer able to find work in the city, we would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That is when we learned of Rose Manor, and the family who dwelled within it. Rose is a name my father could never forget. He was, long ago, a painter in the service of the Rhodes family. Hold on, your father was an artist here? Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. Yo, is the father the beggar that's in the street that he's been helping this whole time? If that is, that's actually, oh my gosh. I'm getting the feeling that beggar that Mel's been helping is the father. Yes, it was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So, you knew about us before you came here? For as long as I can remember, I've known the name of the Rhodes. My father was chased from your house. Did her eyes change? Just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as good reputation spreads, so too does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. Your nobles through your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrat spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. His talent was that could not be easily imitated. But no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father, but even thrown out into the streets, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we had for food, he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. Golly. Ah, jeez. My father passed away in this. Oh, never mind. So it's not the beggar. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it's not his fault I look like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagined you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. No, you wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you, and so I thought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me. In truth, I had wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so, you're right. If they lost me, it would have put my family in a very difficult position. That is the whole of my tale. You now know about my father and how I feel about you. Having told you out of the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection. Not only because I am not aristocratic, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. But that your father were still alive, perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Because if it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguise is not the right word, as many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite, she took me in as a servant. So that was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was, but I've never met any of you before, so she simply must be that kind-hearted of a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? But it was a certain fact that my father was here and that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life to put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then, you were too kind to me. It's all your fault. Because you laugh with such affection. Because you give me smiles like that. Because you say the things you say. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. I'm so happy to hear that. Despite the unusual circumstances. Please don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so deeply. You were far too kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course. I don't understand. How could you possibly say that? I have my hand around your neck even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough to me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all of that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. You're such an aristocrat, Lord Mel. What? The way you can come up with compliments so easily. Only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as this assertion. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. You laughed. Thank goodness. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own futures. What do you say we go to the theater sometimes? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor so we don't have to stand. It would be pretty lavish seats. And it would give you a chance to experience the noble life. But, please, don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with black hair. She kind of scares me though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That is how it has to be. So stand by my side. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped his arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever been. She was already a very pretty girl, so even with that much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beautifully. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that it would lead to their happiness. I could not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. Don't tell me Mel turns into the bad guy. Please, no. Oh my gosh, I can't stop. I really want to know what happens. Oh, so that's how you save. Nice. So I think I might call it a day for now. My voice is starting to give out a little, as you guys have noticed. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be a very exciting story. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Can't wait to get further into it. I get the feeling Mel is going to turn into a bad guy. I could be wrong. Mel or Nelly, one of the two commits some kind of atrocity. It might be Nelly, actually. Because the maid saw those two happy together. But then Nelly was over here being extremely possessive of her brother. I get the feeling that Nelly's going to take out some sort of revenge. But I get the feeling Nelly's gonna take out her frustration. We'll see. But geez, have mercy. This story is a lot better than I thought. But yep, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys later. Thank you guys again.